Hey guys, we were going through our archives and we found this episode that we didn't get around to releasing.
We originally recorded this in the fall, so some of the beginning references and chatting might have you feeling like you experienced a time slip.
We thought now was the perfect time to release it since we will be going to Coastal Haunts Paracon in Georgia this summer, and we just finished recording an episode with Sort of the Story podcast.
Janie, one of the hosts of Sort of the Story podcast, is a ghost tour guide in Savannah, Georgia, and this episode focuses on a very haunted location there.
Don't worry, we'll let you know when their episode drops. We'll make sure and keep you posted on that one.
Oh, yeah.
But we hope you like this blast from the past that never made it to your ears before.
Enjoy! Welcome to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Andy.
And I'm Felice, and we are here in Key West, Florida.
In case this is your first time here, welcome. We are two silly friends who love ghost stories, Bigfoot, cryptids, UFOs, and anything weird. Each episode, we secretly research a topic, so every episode is a surprise.
And all reactions are authentic, including nervous laughter. And when we go,
or grab onto each other.
Yeah.
But we totally recognize that we have no actual knowledge or understanding of what's happening with any of the strange stuff.
That's right. We do know enough to have a deep respect for the unknown and unseen forces at work around us. Even though we cover spooky, scary, and strange topics, our podcast also has lots of laughs to keep it light.
We hope to bring you stories that give you chills, sleep with the light on, and check that your doors are locked.
A quick warning before we begin. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Our tales are drawn from folklore, history, and reported experiences. Some stories may include sensitive topics and accounts, so listener discretion is advised.
Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. Shall we dive in? For this episode, I decided to get back to our roots.
Okay.
Hauntings.
Yes.
So let's take a trip to the south, to Savannah. There is a house on Madison Square in Savannah where it's said that the floors remember every footstep, where a gilded mirror has watched generations come and go, and where some say its residents never left.
Ooh, I love Savannah.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
It has a magical vibe. I love all of the little squares, but also like the trees that grow up but kind of together in the Spanish moss. It's so romantic.
It is. It's cool. Don't touch the Spanish moss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Has mites.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
But they used to put it in beds and stuff like
Ew.
that. Yeah. So, fun fact. Tonight we'll dive into the history and hauntings of the Sorrell Weed House. Its brick holds a history of wealth, sorrow, and stories that don't end at death. Do you know the house?
I don't.
Ooh, awesome. Let's begin with the house itself. The building standing at 6 West Harris Street, known today as the Sorrell Weed House, was designed and constructed by Charles Kluski for Francis Sorrell, a prominent French-Haitian shipping merchant. Sorrell was the son of a French colonel and a free black Haitian woman. His mother died shortly after childbirth, and his father abandoned him to the care of enslaved people on his plantation in Haiti.
Ooh.
Eventually, after being cared for by the enslaved people, he was turned over to relatives of a caretaker. So that essentially saved his life. There was a lot of unrest in Haiti at that time. There was a lot going on with, slavery and things like that. So this really did save his life.
Wow.
So eventually, he made it to the U.S., and Sorrell opened a prominent shipping company in Savannah. That company imported a variety of goods, as well as, ironically, participating in the slave trade.
Ooh.
So, this was strange because he literally was saved by enslaved people.
Yeah.
And he's part of that. So he's not a good guy. We're not a fan.
Hmm.
Eventually, Francis Sorrell commissioned the house that we know as the Sorrell Weed House to be built. Construction took place from 1835 to 1840 on a site that was previously a Revolutionary War battlefield and a makeshift grave. So all over Savannah, there were battles upon battles, from both the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. And so there are a lot of places where, wherever the men fell, they were just buried.
Wow.
Upon its completion, the house was considered one of Savannah's finest examples of Greek Revival and Regency-style architecture. It's a huge 16,000 square foot stately home.
Wow.
I would love a 16,000 square foot house, but not to clean it.
Yeah. Well, I think if you can afford 16,000 square feet, you can probably
get somebody else is cleaning that.
It. Yeah.
It is considered to have a perfectly symmetrical layout, classic lines, interior plasterwork, and large formal rooms used for entertaining. It has ornate fireplaces, marble mantels, and a sweeping staircase, all of which were designed intentionally to show Sorrell's affluence and importance.
Okay. He was a fancy schmancy kind of guy.
Yeah, and he also, I think, liked to be like, hey, look at me, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorrell entertained many wealthy and well-known people there, including General Robert E. Lee, the leader of the Confederate Army during the Civil War. So they were friends. Robert E. Lee spent time there, came and went many times over the course of the years. It wasn't just like oh, hey, you're important and I'm important.
Yeah.
They actually were friends.
Yeah.
So remember, Francis Sorrell's fortune was tied to shipping and trade, and he owned and sold enslaved people during his lifetime. So Savannah in the mid-1800s was a port city where the economy and social hierarchy were built on slavery. And that context underpins much of the Sorrell Weed House's history. Despite the grandeur of most of the house, the slave quarters were a direct contrast to the main house. They were cramped, they were dirty, they were hot. There was also a 2-story building that was the carriage house where preferred slaves were kept.
Okay.
In that building, there was a fireplace, a table, simple beds, a cast iron cooking pot, a barrel for bathing, and chamber pots. The slaves were given 2 blankets, one to cover with and one to use as a pillow.
And that was in the preferred quarters.
Yes.
Okay.
Records show that Sorrell owned between 3 and 11 slaves each year, every year, and was guardian to several free women of color. So I'm not sure what all that entails.
Yeah. What kind of guardian he was.
Right. In Savannah in the 1800s, that's interesting. Sorrell eventually sold the home to a businessman, Henry D. Weed, in 1859, who owned the home until 1914. So that's where the weed part of the Sorrell Weed House comes in.
Okay.
In 1940, the Society of the Preservation of Savannah Landmarks opened the house to the public as a restoration exhibit. It became one of the first high-profile preservation success stories in the historic district, and then became a state landmark in 1954. Fun fact, not Civil War related.
Okay.
A rooftop shot from the Sorrell Weed House was used in the opening scene of Forrest Gump, where you see the feather floating along.
Oh, cool.
And then it lands in the park.
Yeah.
So the bench where Forrest Gump was sitting at the beginning is in that square.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have a little plaque memorial
that's cool.
commemorating it and everything. But yeah, that scene was shot from the Sorrell Weed House.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah. Today, the Sorrell Weed House is open for historical and architectural tours, ghost tours, and paranormal investigations.
Okay.
So let's dive into the hauntings.
Let's do it.
Much of the paranormal activity that occurs today is said to be connected to the actions of our frenemy, Francis Sorrell. Sorrell had a wife, Lucinda, who died from yellow fever in 1827. So then he goes on to marry her sister, Matilda, 2 years later.
Okay.
Matilda is the one who lived in the Sorrell Weed House with Francis. She lived there for a while, until she discovered Francis was having an affair, or more likely, a one-sided forced relationship with one of his young enslaved girls named Molly.
Oh, no.
Matilda reportedly found out about this, was heartbroken, and jumped to her death from the second story of the house.
Oh.
Shortly thereafter, Molly hanged herself in the slave quarters.
Oh, my gosh.
So 2 women tragically ended their lives in a short period of time.
Mm-hmm. All because of one man.
Who seemed like he sucked a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Today, visitors and investigators have documented EVPs and unusual sensor readings. People report experiencing cold spots, hearing footsteps, and hearing disembodied voices. They report seeing apparitions, and then, I love this, there are reports of people hearing the sounds of a party going on in the living room that stops suddenly when someone enters the room.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
I love that. I want to experience something like that.
That is really cool.
That doesn't seem so scary to me. I don't know if it's just an imprint, like a residual sort of thing, or if people are maybe in the ghostly realm still there partying and whatever, and then this human comes and they're like, ah!
In their weird futuristic clothes.
Yeah. And they're like, what are they doing here?
That's crazy. It reminds me of that scene in The Shining where Jack Nicholson comes into the ballroom and all of those fancy people are having a party, but they're all ghosts.
Yes. Cool.
It's
I love it.
Champagne corks are popping and glasses are clinking.
Right. People are like, oh.
Yeah. But they all have like a southern accent in that house, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That's cool. I don't know, darling.
Many people also report the sense of being watched, a feeling of unease, feeling sick or drowsy, and that sort of general dark feeling you get of like bad juju.
Icky.
Yeah, when something terrible has happened somewhere.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that anywhere?
Yeah. It just feels like weird and heavy and I don't know, not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I tell you about this before when I went to look at an apartment in New York?
No.
I walked in and it was in Manhattan. It was in like Labette City or somewhere. And we walked in just to the entryway and it was a walk up. And I was like, no.
Like, nope.
And then I was like, oh no, like you have to see it. Natural light, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, something terrible happened here. Like
you could feel it.
I could feel it. And that was at a point in my life when I wasn't even really well attuned to anything, you know? Because I was in my early 20s, but it was heavy and scary. Like I will never forget that feeling. It was just general, like ick.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know what happened there, but it was something.
Ooh, freaky.
Yeah, for sure. Some other things that happen at the Sorrell Weed House is people have experienced electronics not working properly and sudden temperature drops. Some people have even reported the feeling of someone breathing on the back of their neck.
I hate that.
Me too.
Ooh.
And this is even worse, the feeling of being choked. Many report seeing a ghostly handprint that appears on a basement door. So this happens kind of like sporadically. They see this handprint. The handprint has no explanation. It goes away, you know.
And they said that that Molly had died by hanging. So maybe that's why people are feeling choked.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, that's really scary. That's very scary.
Some people have reported seeing apparitions of women, spotting dark silhouettes, and even seeing the reflection of female figures that appear in the antique mirrors and one mirror in particular. And so within the house, there's a lot of period antiques and things like that. Maybe even some of the original items left over. So it lends an air of authenticity to it, but it also is, you know, they probably carry some of their own ghosts and stories and things.
Yeah.
Other visitors have claimed to hear a woman weeping on the second floor.
Aww.
And remember, that's the floor that Matilda jumped from.
Oh, gosh. That poor girl.
I know.
She's just stuck in her grief. Everlasting grief.
That would be the worst.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even worth it.
Yeah.
A writer for Country Living magazine, David Duran, visited the home and went on one of the ghost tours. So he wrote a whole article describing his tour and things that were happening.
Mm-hmm.
During the tour, he described that he experienced nothing really, no paranormal activity to report outside of some cold spots he encountered.
Mm-hmm.
However, the next day, he was reviewing the photos he had taken and found something that was a bit spooky.
Ooh.
He had taken 3 photos in quick succession, and there's timestamps on them and things like that. So the photos that he had taken were of this big gold mirror that's in one of the rooms. And people say it frequently captures orbs and other interesting phenomena. In the last photo he took, a male figure appears. He was not part of their group. He was not seen in person.
Ooh.
And he looks out of place.
Okay.
His hairstyle and his clothing seem of not this time.
Okay.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
There's one photo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's the overexposed photo. That's the second one. Everything's kind of like whited out.
Yeah.
And then the third photo. Do you spot anybody that's interesting?
This guy right here.
Uh-huh. How would you describe him?
He looks like Timothy Chalamet. He has that hairdo.
The hairdo.
Yeah.
So
wait, go back. See, there's a guy there before.
right, there's a guy with his smartphone, and he's wearing a teal shirt.
Then he's gone, but that guy's there.
Right.
Interesting.
And it's funny, he kind of has like a longer hairstyle. He has on a white shirt, and almost, if you look there, to me, it almost looks like he's wearing kind of overalls or something like that.
Yeah.
It's funny because most of the other people in the photo are kind of like clustered together,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And he's just
He looks a little blurry too, like almost like he is a painting and they are people, but they're all in the same mirror.
He just looks out of place, like almost like he just was sat down there.
Yeah.
It's really weird. So that photo has been shown to employees of the Sorrell Weed House and paranormal investigators, and a lot of people have reviewed it, and all seem to say the same thing. Yep, must be a ghost. Guess it's a ghost. A travel blogger known as the Tatted Nomad, I kind of love that name.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool name.
Also visited the Sorrell Weed House. She wrote that while she was there, she smelled the smells of pipe tobacco and cigar smoke.
Okay.
And obviously nobody is smoking in this historic landmark.
Right. Not anymore.
Fun fact. Civil War related. One of my earliest paranormal experiences was when I went with my parents to Gettysburg, which we'll probably do a whole episode on at some point.
Yeah.
But we were on a ghost tour. I was in middle school, and we're walking along, and my mom is just, oh my gosh, who is smoking? Oh my gosh, on and on. And I said to her, what are you talking about? And she's like, do you not smell this? I'm completely overwhelmed by this pipe tobacco.
Oh.
Ugh. And she's going on, and I smelled nothing. There's one other woman in the tour that was like, do you smell that?
Oh.
And so my mom and this woman were experiencing this. Later, when we went to the Jenny Wade house, which she was the only civilian killed during the Battle of Gettysburg, and she was baking. And I smelled vanilla. Just vanilla all over, and nobody else did.
That's crazy.
And she was a young girl, so I wonder if there was some sort of connection in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that so the smell thing I love as a sort of entry level paranormal experience.
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's like a little weird but harmless.
Right.
Yeah.
You know something's going on.
Yeah.
But it's not super scary. So the Tatted Nomad also reported that she was in the basement and she heard the scrape of a chair, like as if somebody had, sat down and scooted it or pulled it out or something. And there is one chair that's in the basement, but it didn't move, and you wouldn't hear that sort of scrape necessarily. You know? She had a lot of feelings of unease, and then also in the basement she smelled a sharp lemon scent, which is really interesting because it said that the basement area would have been, during the Revolutionary War, a makeshift hospital operating area. And
Okay.
so to clean their tools at that time, they used lemon.
Ooh.
So it could be residual, it could be something else. She was taking a selfie in one of the rooms, and you see her and you see some of the, like, you know, the plaster walls behind her and some of the artifacts. And then there's a dark shadow figure in her picture. The Sorrell Weed House is known as one of the most haunted houses in America. Many link the paranormal events experienced to Matilda Sorrell and the enslaved woman known as Molly. Others attribute some of the basement experiences and male figures seen to soldiers who lost their lives on the site during the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
Regardless of the source, it cannot be denied that people are experiencing strange things at the house. The haunting activity at the Sorrell Weed House is so well known, it's been featured on HGTV's If Walls Could Talk, on the History Channel, in the Wall Street Journal, and in USA Today. The house has also been investigated by the show Ghost Hunters for their Halloween special in 2005, and by Ghost Adventures in 2014. Both of those shows documented EVPs, unusual sensor readings, and, of course, personal experiences.
Yes.
So, fun fact, I've visited the Sorrell Weed House.
Oh, I was wondering.
And I went on one of the investigation, or well, actually, I don't know if it was an investigation. I think it may have just been a ghost tour.
Okay.
And so while I was there, didn't experience too much. I did feel chills and chilly, but, you know, it's an old and drafty house.
Sure.
But it did have this sort of pervading sense of sadness, maybe a little bit heavy feeling. I tried really, really hard to see things when I was there. I'm like,
Maybe if I blur my eyes a little.
Right. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, I'll just let everybody leave. And then maybe when I'm by myself, nothing.
Yeah.
But there, right by that mirror, is a portrait of Robert E. Lee. And it was a little bit unnerving. It felt to me like I kept looking and be like, is it looking at me?
Stop looking at me, Robert E.
Robert!
Lee.
Robert, stop looking. Look away.
Another creepy Robert.
But I took a bunch of pictures. None of my photos showed anything, sadly. But there was some weirdness in the basement. So I think I mentioned before, it's super dark down there, and they have one of those red lights like we had on one of our ghost tours, you know, so
at the firehouse.
Right.
Yeah.
So it provides just enough light that you don't, you know, fall down and trip over things, but it's
like a little extra creepy.
And, you know, your eyes stay sort of adjusted to the dark. Right. So I mentioned that they think that area would have been a surgical area, you know, in the Revolutionary War, and also perhaps an improvised burial ground. Down there, the rest of the house feels sad to me, but down there it felt dark and heavier, you know, almost like when you go to take a breath and the air is like hard to breathe, you know, that kind of thing. But the weirdest thing, so I was with my family, and it was my mom, my dad, my husband, and at this point, Ryan was pretty skeptical.
Yeah.
And my dad is super skeptical, very science-oriented kind of guy. And so, you know, we're going through the house and they're just cracking jokes. Oh, must be a ghost. Oh, you know, all that kind of stuff. And
you're like, shut up.
My mom and I are like, shh, stop it. No, you're going to bring them out.
Yeah, no
you know,
kidding.
And we're all scared. And anyway, we go down to the basement, and my dad, he loves taking photos. He had a fancy camera, and he'd been taking photos all over all day.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, and I also told him to take photos, you know, when we were there, just to see.
Of course.
So we're down in the basement, and his camera just wouldn't turn on. And so, you know, he's getting really frustrated with it. He's trying to troubleshoot. He's trying to figure out what's going on, take out the battery, change this, do this, blah, blah, blah. And it just won't work. So it goes on and on for several minutes, maybe a few choice words. And he can't get it to work. And now he's kind of mad, and he's like thinking his camera's broken, and, you know, on and on. So we leave, go up out of the basement, go outside, and boop, camera turns on.
Right away.
So it was weird.
The ghosts
and
were feeling a little too shy for pictures.
I guess so. But that was one of the things that people report experiencing are those sort of like technology that won't work and things like that. So I always wonder when I hear about that kind of stuff, and I think about ghosts that may be old-timey ghosts. Yeah. Maybe they're just rebelling against the technology.
Maybe. Or they're like, what even is that? Let's shut that down.
Yeah, we're not going to be playing with that today. No, thank you. We're going to stick to knocks and parties still going on.
Right. That's funny.
The Sorrell Weed House keeps its secrets in plaster, brick, and ghostly antique mirrors. So the next time you're in Savannah, why not give the Sorrell Weed House a visit? Explore the history, and maybe you'll experience something ghostly at what is known as one of the most haunted places in America.
Ooh, I'm going to go there.
It's beautiful.
I haven't been in that place before, but I have been to Savannah. I went for a wedding, and the family was from Savannah, and so it was so cool to kind of really get to, I don't know, experience it with locals. It was very cool.
I for a while dreamt of living in Savannah in one of the big old houses.
Yeah, of course.
And having those beautiful trees. And I thought, this would just be a dream.
Yeah, it would be so cool. Have you read the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
I have not. On one of the other ghost tours we went on, they take you so you can see the statue that's famous from the movie.
Yeah.
But I haven't read the book.
We've talked about doing a book club for our podcast, so maybe we should do that for a book.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
For our Patreon.
For Patreon book club.
Yeah.
Don't you want to be part of the crew?
Yeah, you do.
Join the club.
Well, it is time for Somebody Told Me. This story is from someone that we work with. So I think we told you that we did kind of a shout out after a staff meeting. Like, hey, we need ghost stories. Anybody got a ghost story? And after that, I went into the office, and the office ladies were in there. They don't get to come to or have to come to our staff meetings.
Oh, darn.
They're so unlucky or lucky. Depends on what you think. Anyway, so I was like, I know one of you guys has a ghost story. And the one lady was like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I said, have you or anybody that have you seen a spirit or anything creepy happen? It could be anything, UFOs, anything. And she was like, well, and she goes on to tell me this thing. And then she's like, does that count? And I said, yeah, that counts. So that's what I'm going to tell you right now, what she told me.
I can't wait.
So our friend, our coworker's mom could always see ghosts and spirits.
Oh my
So
gosh.
It was not strange or scary for her.
I always wonder, people who have that ability, what is their daily like?
Yeah, right? I don't know.
You're walking down the street and you're like, oh, hello, live person. I see you, dead person. I see you, dead person.
I don't know what it's like. And some of them feel compelled to tell people about, give messages.
Right.
And that might be awkward, or you're not sure how to approach that. I don't know. But in this family, it was just normal. Like, it was not a weird thing at all. So, and not scary. So when our friend was young, her family lived in the house that her father had grown up in.
Okay.
And they did an addition to the house, and they did some renovations. So there was originally a wooden staircase and wooden hallway. And our friend's mom carpeted all of that. She carpeted the stairs and the hallway. Our friend said that one time her father had wondered out loud if Pop, which that was his father.
Okay.
So that's what they called her grandfather, if he liked the changes that they had done in the house. So he just kind of asked out loud, I wonder if Pop likes what we've done to the house. So one night, our friend's mom wakes up to the sound of heavy men's footsteps on a wooden staircase. So it sounded like a man was walking on wooden steps. But as we know,
It was carpeted.
it's carpeted, right?
Oh
They
my
had done
gosh.
that. So she looks up from the bed and she's looking down the hallway. And in her vision of this hallway, it is also a wooden floor, but that hallway had been carpeted. But in this moment, whatever she was seeing in time was the old hallway.
Oh my
The
gosh,
old
I have
wooden hallway.
chills.
Isn't that cool? So coming down that hallway, she sees a glowing image of her father-in-law, and he's coming closer, closer, closer. He makes it to the doorway and they lock eyes. And then he gives her a huge grin and says, I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't
I
that
love
so
that.
cool? So they have a huge, great belly laugh together, and then he vanishes.
Oh my gosh. I love that
Isn't
so
that
much.
so cool?
Oh.
And so she was able, so the mom was able to tell her husband that his dad, which was her father-in-law, loved the changes that they did to the house.
That's incredible.
Isn't that cool?
I love that.
It's so cool that
much.
he came through for her and for his son, you know, to say, yes, I like it. He was listening. So that's so cool. And so our friend also told me that right when her mom, who had been, she'd been sick for a long time.
Okay.
Right when she passed, our friend saw a vision of her own mom as a little girl running into her dad's arms.
Oh my gosh.
So running into her own father's arms, the grandpa's arms. And he had passed away when her mom was only 9 years old.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
So the loss, I have to not look at you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't look.
I'm trying to get through the story. Okay. So the loss of her father had obviously left a huge hole in her life, and she was really waiting to be reunited with her dad.
That is so magical and heartwarming. I can't. I'm crying over here, everybody. I'm sorry.
So the other thing is that the day before her mom passed, our friend they had been playing cards together. So our friend and her mom were playing cards together, and so she was ticking off this list of people that she was so excited to reunite with in the afterlife. And dad was at the top of the list.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this scene, when our friend saw this scene of her own mom as a little girl running into the arms of her dad, gave our friend complete peace about losing her mom, because she knows that she's with all the people that she loves.
I cannot. Oh my gosh. My heart is so, what a heartwarming and incredible story.
I know.
Wow.
It's just like a very hopeful and positive story, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, death is so frightening. I'm afraid to die, right?
Yeah.
You know, nobody knows what happens, but I think that when you hear stories like this, it's so reassuring, and you know that there are people who you love who are going to be waiting for you. Oh,
yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. I think I would love to do an episode on these near death or right before death experiences. I follow this lady on TikTok who is a hospice nurse, and the amount of stories that she has about people meeting death, you know, and literally like going into the arms of their loved ones it's like endless amounts of these stories. And so I just think that is so comforting.
Absolutely.
You know?
I would love to hear those stories, but like we will need a whole box of tissues and probably have to take several breaks during that.
Yes, absolutely. Also, I think it's so funny that like these are really good stories.
Yes.
And the funny thing is that when I went into the office, I was like, surely somebody's got a story. I was not expecting it to be this lady. She is a straight shooter. She is all business. And she doesn't mess around. We don't mess around with her. Like she runs that show. And she's amazing and does an amazing job at all of that. But of all the people to have a ghost story like this, I was not expecting it to be her.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so it was very cool. And
I can't wait to see her on Monday.
She was like, I don't know. What do you think? Does this count? I was like, yeah.
I'd say so. Thanks so much for sharing that story with us. It was incredible. And thank you for listening to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Listeners, you can help support us by telling your friends and family about our podcast. What better way to show people you care this holiday season than by sharing the You Two Scare Me podcast with everyone you know? Sometimes we write these pieces for each other and we don't see them before that. So good one.
And it's
Love that.
so silly. You know what else we love? People who rate and review us. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts. It is so helpful when you leave a rating and a review. Also, don't forget that you can listen to this episode and others on YouTube and see us crying or laughing or just being
all of it.
General idiots.
Yeah, complete weirdos.
Just search for the You Two Scare Me podcast.
That's right. Come check out our website for all of your gift-giving needs. We have sweet merch like mugs, stickers, and shirts. We also have episode notes, photos, and more. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast or on our Facebook page, You Two Scare Me, or on our TikTok account. Just search You Two Scare Me podcast. No spaces.
Remember to send us your own stories of hauntings, mimics, time slips, cryptids, weird experiences, or even aliens for our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scaremepodcast@gmail.com.
Come support us on Patreon. We have 2 membership tiers, one for $5 and one for $10. Both get you perks and include shout outs. We can't wait to give you a shout out on our future episodes.
Woohoo! The link is in the show notes.
That's right. Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.